Hi everyone, I'm Shoshizato, and in this video I'll show you how you can enhance your pictures using selective masking in Lightroom or Photoshop. For this demonstration I'll be using Adobe Photoshop, but if you have an updated version of Lightroom Classic then you will have the exact same tools over there also. I have this picture over here and I have already turned this picture into a smart object so that later if needed I can go back and tweak with the edits. I'll go to Filter and then Camera Raw Filter. And then I'll come to here, and this gives us many options to mask a subject in our picture, like select subject, select sky, brush, linear gradient, radial gradient, color range, luminance range. I'm not going to go so much into details because this video is going to be very basic. In this picture you can see that the light is coming from this direction and falling on our subject, and using selective masking we are just going to enhance that light in our picture. Okay, so for that what I will do is I will work with linear gradient. So first I'll make a linear gradient from here, and if you have worked with selective masking before then you know that our masking appears in this little display section. You can see this overlay effect because I have enabled this show overlay. It is I think same in the Lightroom Classic also. So the white part is the one which is selected and the black is the unselected part. So this is our first linear gradient, and now I will add another 2 gradient with this one. I will come to add and again go to linear gradient and pull a gradient from here. I'm going to add another linear gradient from here. So I hope you can see here that how we are roughly having a direction of the sunlight on the subject, and now we will have to fine-tune this adjustment so when we are increasing the light of that particular area it appears to be realistic. So for that I will do is I will just come to this 3 dots, and now we have to invert this masking effect. I'll go to invert mask. So now this red part is basically the section where all adjustments that we will make will appear. Okay, we are going to fine tune this as I just said. So for that what I will do is I'll make this linear gradient more narrow. Okay, and same I will do with this. I'm going to make it more narrow, and we have another one here. Okay, I will come to this section, and first I will disable this show overlay because we don't need it right now. So I'm going to increase the shadows here, and as you can see I increase the shadows or exposure. Yeah, it's very rough, but it feels like the sun ray is coming over here. Okay, I'll reset this, and now I will adjust the shadows or contrast or exposure to see how we can make this sun ray more realistic and prominent. Okay, just disable this show overlay, and I'm going to slowly increase the shadows. Let's zoom in a bit because we don't want to increase the shadows so much that the noise starts to appear on a subject or the selected parts. I'm going to add a little bit of contrast. Okay, and increase the exposure just a bit. And now I will add some warmth to this part, and for that I'll be using just the basic temperature slider to increase the temperature. And you see I really like this warm effect that's going on this selected part. Just keep on doing this same things as long as you are happy with the result you are getting. That is the only solution to this. I will go to this create mask, and I'll choose brush, and I'll just try to make this corner section of the picture more prominent, as if the light intensity over there is more. So I'm choosing a very soft brush, you know, just increase the feather if you want, and just click once or twice and just play around with it, okay? And again, I will try to increase the highlights, nothing, exposure bit, and again I'm going to increase the warmth of that place. Yeah, it looks already good. And another thing I'll do is I will now create a masking on our subject and try to brighter this part which is closer to our light ray falling, if you will. We'll just see if it works as I'm assuming. I'm going to select radial gradient and just make a rough gradient. And finally, what I will do is I will bring down the shadows which we applied earlier to that our linear gradient effect, because as you can see, if you zoom in, then we are seeing a lot of noise and this bluish tint on our subject that we don't want. I'll again select this mask one. I will come here and reduce the shadows. This was before, this was after. A tip with masking, always try to make subtle changes and avoid overdoing it unless extremely required. If you have found value from this video, then subscribe for more.